हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हो? आई वेलकम you all to Hussaini Public High School YouTube channel. And in the previous lecture, in the previous video, we have discussed the classification of the nervous system. Now today we will start now to discuss the central nervous system. Before understanding the central nervous system, we have to study the neurons, the structural and functional units of the nervous system, which are called as neurons or nerve cells. So our today's topic will be neurons or nerve cells. Neurons, these are also called as nerve cells. Nerve cells. What are the neurons? How can you define the neurons? Neurons are the structural and functional units of nervous system. What do you understand by this? That means the function of control and coordination, which is very important for the survival of the organism. It is an important life process. How these are controlled? Actually, the nervous system is made up of these cells, which are called as neurons or nerve cells. That means their structure and the functions are actually performed by these cells, which are called as neurons or nerve cells. So these are the structural and functional units of the nervous system. Now, what the neurons look like and what are the various components of the neurons, we will understand these things in this lecture. First of all, let me draw a very neat and clean diagram so that you can understand the things very well. So I'm going to draw a very simple and clean diagram so that you can understand it. You know that neurons are the elongated cells. These are the longest cells in the human body. Like this. These are the branches coming out from this structure. These are the terminal ends of this cell. Remember, it is a single cell. It is a single neuron. I am drawing a single neuron. So neurons are these are the elongated cells. Neurons are the elongated cells. The neurons of the nervous system, these are elongated cells, and these are the largest cells in our body, and they can go up to 1 meter in length. They are very large cells in our body. That's the largest cells now present in our body. So they look like this. This is the simple diagram of neuron. There are small granules rounded shaped structures, and there are small fibers that are also present in this part. Now, neurons. Neuron has two parts. First of all, neuron can be divided into two parts. Number one, cyton. It's also called as soma. It's also called as cell body, or it's also called as perikaryon. These are the names, same name, cyton, soma, cell body, or perikaryon. And our second part of the neuron are called as cell processes. Cell processes. Cell processes. Now, cell processes are of two types. Number one, dendrons, and number second, axon. So what is the structure of the neurons? The structural and functional units of the nervous system. It consists of two parts. Number one, cyton, soma, cell body, or perikaryon, and the second part is called as cell processes. And cell processes include two parts, dendrons and axon. Okay. Now this part is called as cell body. This part is called as cell body. It is the main part of the cell. Because it contains the nucleus. This part which contains the nucleus, this is the nucleus. It contains nucleus. This part is called as, this portion is called as cell body. Okay. Now, from the cell body, small processes arise. From the cell body, small processes arise. These are the processes. These small processes are called as dendrons. These processes are called as dendrons. Now these dendrons, they again divide into still smaller branches. These dendrons, they again divide into still smaller branches, and these branches are called as dendrites. These are called as dendrites. The processes arising from the cell body, these are called dendrons, and the still smaller branches of the dendrons, these are called as dendrites. Okay. Now confused with the dendrons and dendrites, these are the primary branches, and the secondary branches are called as the dendrites. Okay. Now the nucleus, there is a cytoplasm. This cell body contains the nucleus, and outside there is cytoplasm. This part is called as, this is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. That means the cell body contains the nucleus and cytoplasm. Now in this cytoplasm, in the cell body, there are rounded structures. जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे दिखाया है, ये rounded structures. There are rounded structures. There are granular structures. These are present in the cell body, and these are also present in the dendrons. Remember, the granular structures, the rounded structures, these are present here in the cytoplasm as well as in the dendrons. And these rounded structures are called as, Nissl granules. Important, Nissl granules. Okay. Now, in addition to these Nissl granules, there are small fibers. Which are called as neurofibrils. There are also present small fibrils, and these fibrils are present in this part, axon. Now this is the axon. It is part axon. But I have said that this is the cell body, first part, and the second part, cell processes. Cell processes have two types. Dendrons, these are the dendrons, and its branches are called dendrites, and the second process, axon. It's also arising from the cell body. This is another long branch which also arises from this cyton, cell body, but it has uniform diameter. This is a long process. This long process, it is single. Remember, it is single, and the dendrons are many. But this axon is single in number, and it arises from the cell body also, and its diameter is uniform, and this is called as, this special branch is called as axon. This special branch is called as axon. Okay. Now this axon at the terminal end, the terminal end of the axon, it divides. There are many branches. The terminal end of the axon have many branches. These are the branches, and these branches are called as telodendria. Telodendria. Okay. These are the process dendrons, and the single process that arises from the cell body, which is called axon. It is uniform, it's of uniform diameter, and at the terminal end it divides into many branches which are called as telodendria. Now these telodendria, these telodendria end up in knob-like structures, large rounded structures, and these structures are called as synaptic. These are called as synaptic knobs. Synaptic knobs. Now these synaptic knobs, they contain, inside the synaptic knobs there are many rounded structures, these which are called as synaptic vesicles. These are called as synaptic vesicles. Okay. Now अभी मैंने बताया था कि ये जो राउंडेड स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं जिनको हम नेसल ग्रैन्यूल्स कहते हैं, these are present in the cell body as well as in the dendrons. Okay, and in addition to the nesal granules there are small fiber-like structures which are called as neurofibrils. These neurofibrils, and these are called as neurofibrils, and these are present in cell body as well as in the axon, Okay. Now this axon, it may be or it may not be covered by a sheath of fatty acid phospholipids. This axon may be covered by a layer of cover called as, which is made up of phospholipids. This axon may or may not be covered by a layer of phospholipids which is called as myelin sheath. This is called as myelin sheath. Okay. Now this myelin sheath is actually formed by special cells which are present over this axon, and these cells are called as Schwann cells. These cells are called as Schwann cells. The phospholipid layer, which is called as myelin sheath, is formed by the Schwann cells. Okay, it may be present, may not be present. Now the terminal ends of this axon, which are called as telodendria, which end up in a button-like structures which are called as synaptic knobs, and the synaptic knobs, they contain several synaptic vesicles, and these synaptic vesicles contain, they store important chemical substances. These contain important chemical substance, these synaptic vesicles, and these chemical substances are called as neurotransmitters. Okay, and these are important for the neuroimpulsion, for the information. Okay, for the information, to carry the information from the organs to the brain and from the brain to the organs. So through these important substances, through these important chemicals which are called neurotransmitters, these are stored in these synaptic vesicles which are present inside the synaptic knobs. Now these nesal granules, I have told you, these are the rounded structures present in the cell body, cytoplasm, and in the dendrons. These nesal granules, they are chemically made up of two things: endoplasmic reticulum plus ribosomes. Nesal granules, they are made up of endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomal. So their function is they form proteins, protein synthesis. They help in protein synthesis. They help in protein synthesis. They may be enzymes, hormones, etc. So these are the these vessel granules help in protein synthesis. Now, the cytoplasm of this cell body, it's called as neuroplasm. It is cytoplasm is called as neuroplasm. Okay, it's a special name here. It is called neuroplasm, and also there is a fluid part inside this axon. It is called as exoplasm. It is called as exoplasm. Okay, now this entire nervous system I have discussed it in the previous lecture. There are central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, autonomic, so many types of nervous system, but they all are made up of these neurons or nerve cells. Now these cells they join end to end like this. ये एक न्यूरॉन है, दूसरी न्यूरॉन जो है, दूसरी सेल वो यहाँ, उसकी जो ये डेंड्राइट्स है, दूसरी न्यूरॉन की डेंड्राइट जो है ये यहाँ आएंगे, दूसरी, समझो ये लेट मी रब दिस फर्स्ट, ये दूसरी न्यूरॉन यहाँ से आएगी, उसकी जो डेंड्राइट्स है, for example this is another neuron here. Okay, and it is dendrites fuse with this the synaptic knobs of the first neuron and they join end to end. इस तरह से join होते हैं तो long fibers बनाते हैं, इसको nerve fiber फिर बोलते हैं. ठीक है, what happens, the nerve cells, the synaptic knobs of one neuron, they fuse with they join with the dendrites of the another neuron and they form a junction. They form a junction here. This is called as synapse. The junction is called as synapse. Okay, this junction is called as synapse. और इस तरह से इंफॉर्मेशन जो है, any इंफॉर्मेशन से हमें यहाँ टच, कोई पिन चुभाएगा, कुछ कोई भी स्टिमुलस होगा, एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट, सर्दी गर्मी है तो वो स्टिमुलस जो है इन न्यूरॉन से अंदर स्टिमुलस आएगा, फिर यहाँ से दूसरे में आएगा स्टिमुलस, इस तरह से वो नर्व इंपल्स जो है हमारे सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम में जाएगा. ठीक है, ओके. नाउ सो दिस इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द, नाउ रिमेंबर one more thing. So neurons is the structure of the neurons. Now neurons on the basis of the presence or absence of this myelin sheath. Okay, I have told you that myelin sheath may be present over the axon or it may not be present over the axon. So on this basis, on the basis of presence or absence of, on the basis of presence or absence of myelin sheath. There are two types of neurons or nerve cells. Okay, what? Number one, myelinated nerve fibers are neurons. Number second, non-myelinated nerve fibers are nerve cells. Okay, so on the basis of this presence or absence of myelin sheath, the neurons may be myelinated or they may be non-myelinated. Now, in myelinated nerve fibers, the myelin sheath is present. Myelin sheath is present, which is formed by the Schwann cells present over this axon. In non-myelinated fibers, axons are also present. Axons are present definitely. In non-myelinated nerve fibers, Schwann cells are present there, but they do not form the myelin sheath in this case. In non-myelinated fibers, Schwann cells are present, but do not form myelin sheath. myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is white in color. Remember, white myelin sheath is, what is it? It's made up of phospholipids and it is white in color. Okay, so here its myelin sheath is absent, but the Schwann cells are present. Now in this Schwann cells produce myelin sheath. Okay. Now these types of neurons, these myelinated type of neurons, neurofibers, these are present in spinal and cranial nerves. Spinal and cranial nerves. इस टाइप के जो न्यूरॉन्स हैं माइलिनेटेड टाइप के, ये हम आगे डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. तो इस टाइप के न्यूरॉन जो है माइलिनेटेड न्यूरोफाइबर्स, दे आर प्रेजेंट इन स्पाइनल एंड क्रेनियल नर्व्स. स्पाइनल नर्व जो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड से अरेस्ट होती है, बताया था. जो समझो ये फॉर एग्जांपल ब्रेन है, ये स्पाइनल कॉर्ड है, तो यहाँ से जो नर्व्स उठेंगी क्रेनियल नर्व्स जो स्पाइनल कॉर्ड से है, वो क्या है? स्पाइनल नर्व, these are the cranial nerves. So these nerves are of myelinated type. The non-myelinated nerve fibers are found in autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. Is it clear? I think it is crystal clear to you. So ये स्ट्रक्चर है न्यूरॉन का. ठीक है, तो इसके बाद हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं कि ब्रेन किस तरह से कंट्रोल और कोऑर्डिनेट, किस तरह से बहुत से एक्टिविटीज हमारे जिस्म में कोऑर्डिनेट करता है. तो वी विल डिस्कस इन द नेक्स्ट वीडियो द कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन बाय दिस सेंट्रल नर्वस सिस्टम. ओके, so thanks.